Hello everyone, I am Shrisha. Hope you all are healthy, and I am here to speak about Vedas, cosmology and psychology as per I know. So starting with the Vedas, I'll just brief few points about the Vedas here. So Veda, coming to the first point, Veda is the only Apaurushaya. It is the only Apurusha, which means it has no author. Vedas has no author. It is the only sacred Akashic records. It is the sacred information or the data, the eternal, purest information available in the space time. It does not have any author. The saints who tell Vedas, who explain Vedas, have only discovered the Vedas in the deep meditation by the grace of God. It is only the discoveries of the information, not the written one. Veda has no author. It is intrinsically self-evident. It is like axiom. It is intrinsically self-evident. We can test the validity of the Vedas by our conscience. It has no missing details. It is complete. It is a purity. As the Vedas tell, Anantavai Vedaha, the meanings of the Vedas are infinity. Every single word or letter has infinite meanings. That's why Anantavai Vedaha. For example, the term Vishnu can be defined as Vaiveshtitaha iti Vishnuhu, Vishatiti Vishnuhu, Vishvagatha iti Vishnuhu, Vishvasamarthaha iti Vishnuhu. There are infinite meanings for everything. So it has no missing details, and it is the fundamental principle and the origin of all. Today what we can see as numbers, tones, words, alphabets which are in the sequence, it has an origin from Veda. Whatever the word which we speak in any language, it has the origin of the Om, the sacred syllable Om, which totally has 8 letters: A, U, Ma, Nada, Bindu, Kala, Shanta and Atishanta. So everything is an origin of everything comes from Veda. Veda is the origin of all vibrations. It is the fundamental principle. Knowing that is knowing everything. All the nature contains the Vedas. The nature has the Vedic information. Veda is the all-pervading, purest data. And as the Veda is the only in the highest quality and quantity, it is the only way through which God can be properly understood. Though God is all-pervading and can be known by everything, God can be known properly using the Sadhagama only, or the Vedas only, because Vedas don't have any defect. Whatever the text which a person writes, it falls into a personal interpretation or the personal context. But Vedas, as it has no author, it is Apaurushaya, it does not fall into any individual perception or something else. Hence Veda is the purest without any defects, and only through Veda one can know the physical science, the celestial bodies, and philosophy, psychology, and totally the God who is the all-pervading. It explains the best way of life, how to live, why to live, when to judge something. So it is perfectly explained by Vedas alone. It can be experienced by consciousness, by the inner consciousness or the conscience. It can be only by purity one can know the God, that is through the Veda. Veda is the origin of all. Veda is the seed of the universe and the life. So now, to explain the few suktas of Veda, I just take this book called as Saswara Veda Mantraha, which is in Kannada language, published by Sri Ramakrishna Ashrama. The Purusha Sukta, the Supreme Purusha or the Supreme Personality, is defined using the Purusha Sukta. It tells the Lord Vishnu alone, who is the Supreme Personality, which we see in the next Nārāyaṇa Upanishad. So this is the Nārāyaṇa Upanishad of Yajurveda. Let me read out the lyrics and then let's go to the meaning. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Atha Purusho Havai Nārāyaṇo Kamayatah Prajasrujayeti Nārāyaṇād Prāణo Jayate Manah Sarvendriyāni Cha Kham Vayurjyotirapah Prithvi Vishvasya Dharini Nārāyaṇād Brahma Jayate Nārāyaṇād Rudro Jayate Nārāyaṇādhindro Jayate Nārāyaṇād Prajapatayah Prajayante Nārāyaṇād Vadashaditya Rudra Vasavah Sarvāni cha Chanda Gumsi Nārāyaṇādeva samutpadyante Nārāyaṇe pravartante Nārāyaṇe praliyante. Om Atha Nityo Nārāyaṇah Brahma Nārāyaṇah Shivascha Nārāyaṇah Shakrascha Nārāyaṇah Dhyava Prithvyau cha Nārāyaṇah Kalascha Nārāyaṇah Dishascha Nārāyaṇah Urdhvascha Nārāyaṇah Adhascha Nārāyaṇah Antarbahishcha Nārāyaṇah Nārāyaṇa evedam sarvam yadbhutam mecha bhavyam Nishkalo niranjano nirvikalpo nirakhyata shuddho deva eko Nārāyaṇah Nadvitiyo asti kaschit ya evam veda sa Vishnureva bhavati sa Vishnureva bhavati Omityagre vyaharet nama iti paschat Nārāyaṇayetyuparishtat Omityekaksharam nama iti dve akshare Nārāyaṇayeti panchaksharaणि etadvai Nārāyaṇasyaśtaksharam padam yo havai Nārāyaṇasyaśtaksharam padamadyeti anapabhrava sarvamayureti vindate prajapatyagam rayasposhtam gaupadyam tato mrtatvamashnuta iti ya evam veda pratyaganandam brahma purusham pranavah swarupam akara ukara makara iti tane kada samaparahtadomiti yamuktva muchyate yogi janma samsara bandhanat. Om Namo Nārāyaṇayeti mantropāsakah Vaikunṭha bhuvanalokam gamishyati tadidam param pundarikam vijñānaganam tasmāt tadidavanmatram brahmaṇyo devaki putro brahmaṇyo madhusūdano sarvabhūtastamekam nārayanam Kāraṇarūpamakāra parah brahmo yetadadharvashiro yodite prātaradhiyāno ratrikritam pāpannāshayati sayamadiyāno divasakritam pāpannāshayati madhyani namadityabimukhō dīyānah pañcapātakopapātaka pramuchyate sarvaveda pārāyaṇa puñyam labhate Nārāyaṇa sāyujyamavāpnoti Nārāyaṇa sāyujyamavāpnoti ya evam veda ityupanishat. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Dvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So, while understanding the realities of the cosmos, of the total realities, are only three. One is Ishvara, the God, the Supreme Personality, who is the only independent or self-dependent. He is called Swatantra, who is independent, not dependent on anyone. So that is God. And next are lives, which have emotions, which are the lives, which are the living entity. So that is another type of reality. And another one is non-living or materials, the material or jada, which don't have any emotions. So these are only realities which are present. The God, the Ishvara, who is the only independent, and the lives, the living organisms, which are dependent and have emotions, and non-living materials or physical, which do not have emotion. There are only these three realities in the universe. So, going through the meaning, the first is the standard, or it's called as Dhyana Shloka. It totally means, as it is taught by a teacher to a student, it is a prayer to God that we both are blessed by the God, so that the pure knowledge is shared from the teacher to student, and hence whole society will be in the pure knowledge, and purity is attained by everyone. May all live happily, may happiness be with everyone, and may the God's grace be with everyone. So that is our overall meaning from here to here. So from starting with here, Om has a lot of meaning, which the Om is the abbreviation of whole Vedas. It has a lot of meaning. It is the life force, it is the cosmic vibration, it is the controlling force of everyone and everything. It represents only Vishnu. So it is the starting of everything. And Purusho Havai Nārāyaṇa, the Lord Vishnu or Nārāyaṇa, he is the Purusha, he is the Supreme Personality. And he, at the beginning, when there was no universe, no lives and nothing, Vishnu or Nārāyaṇa alone stayed. He alone, he is just used to represent him. The Lord Vishnu, he is Vishvarupa, he is God, he is beyond everything. She alone stayed. She alone stayed independently. And then the Lord desired to create the universe. Creation here means formation. The formation of universe from the subtle nature. The subtle form, the formation of gross from the subtle form of the nature is called creation in this context. So the Lord wished to create the universe for the sake of life, because all the life which had existed was incomplete. They did not evolve. They just existed. That's it. But every life has its own character, its own personality. The God is like an object, the mirror is like the character, and the reflection is the life. So as the mirror, so the reflection of the object. So the whole world created according to the wish of Lord Vishnu alone. So the Lord Vishnu, I am calling here Vishnu, but anyone can call the God by any name. That's not an issue. So in this Vedic context, how do we know Vishnu is the supreme? It has stated here, Ata Purusho Havai. The Purusha means the supreme personality is Nārāyaṇa. This is the Vishnu Sukta of Yajurveda. Here too it tells Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. So Vishnu is the supreme. The Rudripat too tells Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya Vishnave Mrityurme Pahi. So Vishnu is the death of everything and everyone. He is within the Rudra also. The BhagavadGita. In the BhagavadGita, I am choosing a 11th chapter where the Arjuna tells that to Krishna or Vishnu that it is the supreme and indestructible. He addresses and worships Lord Vishnu as supreme, the only indestructible worthy of being known, because Vishnu is eternal. Hence, it is Vishnu who is the creator, operator and destroyer of all, which we see in details in further. So he decided to create the world for the sake of life. So the first created was Nārāyaṇat prano jayate. The first was created was prana tattva or mahatattva. Nārāyaṇat prano jayate. First created was prana tattva or mahatattva. The only difference between the science and philosophy is science can address the physical nature or the visible material, but philosophy considers both physical nature and the abhimani devata, because if any physical object or matter, to make it in motion, someone or some consciousness has to do it. Any physical or any material cannot be in motion or cannot perform its function on itself. Someone should measure that. So that's what even quantum theory too tells in the Copenhagen and Wigner interpretation, and many more. If there is a painting and there must be an artist, a pot cannot come on its own. So there must be a creator for the entire universe. Hence, we are talking about that God. That God is beyond everything, beyond all the characteristics of humans and technologies. A small binocular or a small scale cannot be used to measure the depth of an ocean. Hence, the God is called as Atindriya, who is beyond everything. Hence, the God is only known through Vedas. And hence, that Lord created the Pranatattva or Mahatattva first. So, how was God? In Vishnu Sahasranama, the Bhishma tells to Yudhishthira that Anadinidinam Vishnum Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, that Vishnu Lord, the Lord whom I am calling by the term Vishnu, is Anadi, he is eternal, it is beginningless and hence endless. The Lord always existed, existing and will exist, and he is the Lord of everything and everyone. He is always Nitya, Anadi, and Lokadhyaksham. It is from the Lord that everything created. Hence, the Lord is the cause for everything, being himself as uncaused. It is from Lord that all the sorrows will get destroyed, because the Lord is the root cause of everything. And one more important stanza which I quote here is Yani namani gunani vikhyatani mahatmanaha. The Lord can be known by any names or any words in any language. I call him Vishnu as per Vedic tradition. I can call Allah in Islamic tradition, or whatever the name. He can be known by everything, because at the core all names can be turned into a good meaning, and Vishnu is always good, who is known by everything. Vishnu can be derived from everything. That's what Yani Namani Gaunani, all names describe the sacred and marvelous attributes of Lord Vishnu alone. So, coming to the structure of universe, as I know, Yata Sarvani Bhutani Bhavantyagi Yugagame Yasmincha Pralayam Nyanti Punareva Yugakshaye. At the beginning, there was nothing, but the Lord held everything in the subtle form, and then during the formation of the universe, the Lord created everything from the subtle form to the gross form, and at the end of the universe, all the gross form will turn into subtle form, and the whole cycle repeats. According to the Vedic tradition, the universe too undergoes the universe too undergoes the cycle of birth, life and death. It is a cycle, it is an eternal cycle of the universe. For example, in Bhagavatam there is a statement called Yatha Pindande Tata Brahmanda, That means there is a similarities between life or zygote and the universe or the cosmos. I'll just share 3 of them here. The first, everything has an origin. See, for example, a life started from a sperm and it expanded to a baby, adult, and then much more. Likewise, the universe too, which was concentrated at the point about 13.7 billion years ago, expanded from that point, and now it is in, I think, middle age. So both have as expansion and expansion from an origin. I'll come to the third point here. As there are many stars taking birth and living and dying in the cosmos, we can too observe the cells, biological cells in our body, that it is being generated, lives for certain amount of time and get destroyed. The concept of reincarnation is not a new, but it clearly explains. There are many proof, like the book here. There are many proof of life after death. In fact, it best explains the concept of luck, butterfly effect, why everyone are not getting what they want or happier in their life. It best explains, because one is responsible for the universe and life is a causal system. It is a causal system. Every result is the product of our character, our present action. Every result or what we get is the product of this. First one, our own character, our instinct, and our past actions, and our present actions, and external influences, which if we had any. And the God, who is the independent, just relates all these things according to our character and gives the result to a person at the correct time. Hence, the universe too undergoes this cycle, the life, death and birth. The universe too undergoes the cycle, the eternal cycle of this. So how did the universe come into being? At the beginning of the cycle, which I consider as birth. So according to Vedas, as I know, there are 4 types of space. One is Avyaktakasha, Bhutakasha, Ghatakasha, are also called as Deshakasha, and Anuakasha. The Avyaktakasha is the non-physical space, which is eternal. Our mind, or we cannot imagine anything without a space. So Big Bang, from which the Big Bang is the origin of physical space, and also the division of the time. So where did Big Bang occur? So we cannot imagine, we cannot think of, we cannot understand anything without a space. Hence, it is a spiritual space, the Avyaktakasha. The Bhutakasha, which is a material space, the universe. The universe exists within the Avyaktakasha. So the entire material space which is created is Bhutakasha, which is in the Avyaktakasha. Next is Deshakasha, which is the atmospheric space. Like every planet and every countries have its own space. It's relative. The relative space, it's the infrastructural space. And then the Anu Akasha, the fundamental particles which is in the motion, which is in the spin, like leptons or electrons revolve around the atom, and quarks are held together by the gluons, which has its own spin and all those things. So it should have a space. So that is Anu Akasha. So these 3 are created by the God, which are non-eternal, and Avyaktakasha, which is infinity, is eternal. Coming to the time, Kala, the time is eternal without any doubt. But the division of time are not eternal. The time always flows in one direction. Stephen Hawking too told, time always flows in the one direction. The direction cannot be reversed in any way. So the division of time in the space makes the action possible, or the any events in the universe or life possible. So coming to the creation, Vishnu, who always existed, is eternal. He encoded the existing particles to the certain value and gave initiated the Mahatattva. Then the respective lord of Mahatattva is Brahma. Hence Brahma or Mukhya Vayu is called as Jivottama. who is the best and purest of all lives apart from Lakshmi. Hence, Mahatattva can be as I know it is can be cosmologically understood as the subtle data which is used to encode the particles so that it behaves as the Lord wants. It's not any physical data but the spiritual data. And then Brahma, it can be psychologically understood as when we woke up from a sleep, we just feel the presence of subconscious. We will just feel the basic awareness, the foundation, the fundamental awareness. So that is Mahatattva in psychology. And then Brahma created Shiva, the Lord Shiva, or also called as Rudra. And Shiva is the Lord of identity or Ahankara Tattva. Psychologically it can be understood as, or biologically it can be understood as, the presence, the feeling of I, the myself, the identity, the self. Oh, I woke up from the sleep. The first ever which can be observed is just an basic awareness, the presence of subconsciousness. But the Shiva or Ahankara Tattva is the awareness of consciousness. Awareness. So as the subconsciousness is more important than consciousness, Brahma is superior to Shiva. And then, cosmologically, Shiva Tattva can be understood as the creator of all the elements. So Vishnu gave the knowledge of Vedas and how to drive the universe, or how to encode the particles or the frequencies from the complex structure of the universe to evolve to Brahma. And Brahma created Shiva. Hence Shiva is also called as Ajasuta. Shiva created the basic atoms, or 5 basic atoms required for the formation of universe. Psychologically it can be better understood as like 5 senses: eyes, nose, ear, tongue and skin, and 5 action organs like legs to hands, reproduction and excretory systems. And all these things were created by Shiva. Hence Shiva is called as Mano Abhimani. And Shiva created Indra, who is the lord of weather and climate of all the worlds, not only earth, for all the planets and celestial bodies. And after Indra, all the other lords like Prajapati and all those came, who improved the universe for the evolution of life. The Lord Vishnu is the director of everyone. So these meanings are encoded within these stanzas. It's not a complete explanation, but this is what I can currently do now. So Nārāyaṇa created everyone. According to the commands of Nārāyaṇa, Brahma created Rudra. According to commands of Nārāyaṇa, Shiva created Indra, and all those things. So Nārāyaṇa is everything. Nārāyaṇa deva samutpadhyante. Nārāyaṇa created everything. Nārāyaṇa pravartante. Here, Nārāyaṇa is the director of evolution. Lives evolve because they are incomplete. Every life evolves according to its own character. So hence, the Lord Vishnu is the director of evolution. Vishnu does not do any partiality. Vishnu just provides the necessary power for the evolution, for the sustaining and actions of life according to its character. So Nārāyaṇa pravartante, this means that. And Nārāyaṇa praliyante. And the Lord does not change the character of himself or the others. And the next stanza tells about the Antaryami Tattva. Antarbahishcha Nārāyaṇah. Antaryami means the Brihadaranyaka explains clearly about Antaryami Tattva. Antaryami is indweller of everything and everyone. Nārāyaṇa is the Antaryami. Antarbahishcha tatsarvam vyapya Nārāyaṇa stitaha is told in another sukta. So Vishnu, who is present in every fundamental particle and vibration, makes them to function as we can see now. It is because of Vishnu, the presence of Vishnu, that every fundamental particle frequencies are functioning. For any vibration to exist, it must have an origin and a sustainer, because else the energy will be lost. But we can see the vibration everywhere, because of which we can see, we can see everything has a vibration, every particle is vibrating. So it is because of Vishnu, who is the source of everything, who is making them to function, which we can see in the form of waves mathematically. So how is Vishnu? Vishnu is the only purest we can see here. Niranjano Nistkalo Niranjano Nirvikalpo Nirakhyata Shuddho Deva Eko Nārāyaṇa. Now Vishnu is another name of Nārāyaṇa. Nārāyaṇa is the only purest God, only purest reality. Rest everything and everyone are impure when compared to Vishnu. Vishnu is the only purest without any defects. Vishnu is the ocean of perfectness and excellence, the opulence of greatestness, of the greatness and richness of qualities, the sacred and auspicious qualities. If a person wears a jewels, then it is a beauty of person from the jewel. But in the case of the Lord Vishnu, it is the beauty of jewel from the Lord Vishnu. So Vishnu is the only one without a second. This is what the Vedas tell. Savishnureva bhavati. And the next tells about the important phrase or mantra, that is Nārāyaṇa Ashtakshara. So all these things, all the further is explanation of the Lord's name, the Nārāyaṇa, which itself is a greatest word. As told, Dhyanam Nārāyaṇa Paraha, the most sacred action in the cosmos is the meditation on the Lord Nārāyaṇa, the deep thinking of the Lord Nārāyaṇa with good intention and cleanliness. So by the chanting of the name of Lord Nārāyaṇa or Vishnu or Krishna, every sin or every mistake or every sorrow, ignorance, arrogance will be destroyed for sure. The Vedas itself is the pure evidence, and the devotees like Prahalada, Dhruva are the best example for this. By the chanting of the Lord Nārāyaṇa, the good points or the good scores is of reading whole Vedas will be obtained. This is the essence of Veda and Upanishads. So then, how does the Lord Nārāyaṇa end the universe, or what is the time of the universe? According to Vedic philosophy and science theory, the time is relative. So the time division can be seen here, which I am going to explain briefly. By the relativity theory, space and time are relative, which we can observe. It is also speculated that the possibility of a finite and yet unbounded universe. But still there is a question that is the space or time finite or infinite? It mostly appears as universe is finite because it had an origin. Whatever the formation is, the formation itself becomes an origin. So anything which has an origin cannot be infinite. So, but it can also be unbounded, as some speculate. So coming to this context here, there are 4 yugas, namely Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga, and we are living in Kali Yuga, which started around 5120 years from the year 2020 CE. So these yugas are also a cycle. After Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga starts, after Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, then Kali Yuga, then after Kali Yuga, again Krita Yuga starts. So these 4 are cycles. So Krita Yuga lasts for 14,40,000 years, which is the time on our earth. So Krita Yuga starts for 14,40,000 years as calculated from our earth. But according to the celestial beings like Indra and all, it can last about 4,000 years. So let's talk about our earth calculations. So the respective starts here. So after the complete cycle of these 4 yugas is one Mahayuga, which is around this many years. And 71 such cycles becomes one Manvantara. And 14 Manvantaras becomes one morning of the Lord Brahma. And the same time becomes one night for the Lord Brahma. So one day becomes total of 28 Manvantaras, which corresponds to these many years on the life on earth. So such 100 years is the total lifespan of Brahma, which is around 3.0917376 into 10 power 14 years on the earth. Roughly 1 second to the Lord Brahma, who is residing in the Satya Loka or Brahma Loka, is equal to 1 lakh years or 100,000 years on the earth. So such lifespan is such duration, the cosmic time or the objective cosmic time is the lifespan of entire universe. And after this, entire universe collapses and a new universe with new Brahman arises. And one more thing is that after every Manvantara, the earth, our earth, not the alien planets or some celestial planets, our earth get destroyed and new earth is formed. So there are many processes going on according to Lord Vishnu. So this is only the divisions of time are relative and space are relative. So this is a brief thing about, or the basic brief thing about the principles. I know there are many mysteries in the universe and life, which I cannot cover everything here, which some of which I too don't know. This is just brief explanation of it. To show that Vishnu is the author of everyone. This is a Chanakya Niti in Kannada language. So he too writes by starting by the worship of Lord Vishnu, because Lord Vishnu is the author of everything, the author of the book of the universe, economics, social, politics and everything. Pranamya Sarasaha Vishnu Trailokyadipatim Prabhum Nana Shastro Dhrutham Vakshe Rajaniti Samujjayam. The Lord is the author of technology also. Jai Vishnu. With this, so what do we have to do in life? So the Lord, which is acceptable by everyone who is ethically sound, we have to do our duties properly without any further or negative expectations. It is our duty to be good, ethically sound, to share love and pure knowledge to everyone, to pass on the purity to next generation, to make the society beautiful and sacred. It is our duty to keep ourselves and the society clean. It is our duty to know about ourselves and the environment and the Lord who created it. So it is possible only by understanding and purity. One should be ethical and interested towards spirituality, so that if one can go to the root of everything, being good and devoting the self to the Lord, Supreme Lord Nārāyaṇa, Vishnu, and non-violence, being ethical, following the dharma or the self-duty or the respective culture who is from the following the respective culture, being ethical, respecting others, and worshipping the Lord as per the tradition with purity in heart and good knowledge in mind, gives salvation. The salvation is the free from the bondage of eternal life cycles, which leads. The salvation is the free from the bondage of world. Salvation is the completeness of self. As I told, the completeness of one's evolution, which is, if the conscience of the character is pure, it leads to salvation. It is the experience of purest knowledge, awareness and bliss. It is a life experience the infiniteness of the Lord Vishnu. But still, even in that salvation, life is dependent on God. So salvation is the ultimate goal of all life. We should think of what is the life along with gaining money and entertainment. Entertainment and enjoyment should be from the pure knowledge, which is the true happiness. So let's be pure let's share the good information and valid information by the grace of Lord Sri Krishna and Sri Madhvacharya, with the grace of Lord Sri Krishna and Sri Madhvacharya, and also Parvatipati Shiva, and with the grace of all elders, Pitrus. May the happiness be with everyone. The truth shall prevail. And thank you everyone. Thank you very much. And yeah, one more thing. There are also certain mention of the structure of the universe of both visible and invisible. For example, this is one of it. So here which we live is called as Bhuloka. Note that the earth is not put in the center here but revolves around the sun. We'll take earth as the reference because we are living on this planet. So there are celestial planets above and below the earth. The below planets are called as lower level, while the above planets are called as higher level. So the planets or the worlds which are in the state or in the level of the earth are called as Bhuloka. All the planets, like planets in our solar system or exoplanets or whatever we can observe, are in the middle layer or the subtle and gross, mixture of subtle and gross. These are in the same state, both psychologically and cosmologically. The earth is to speak in terms of psychology, the earth is a planet where there is a mixture of both sorrow and happiness, while when moved to the lower level of planets from the earth, the sorrowness increases while happiness decreases. And if we move to the higher level of the earth, happiness increases and sorrow decreases. And hence, the states of planets, the whole, everything is bounded, or it is finite universe. So hence, there is also a boundary called, or the universe is also enclosed within the 5 to the about 7 layers, which as per I know, the Vaikuntha Loka exists beyond the universe. The Vaikuntha Loka is the salvation, the supreme abode of Lord Vishnu, which exists beyond or above the universe, which is eternal. Hence, one may travel anywhere within the layer of the earth, but not to the higher or lower celestial bodies only with the help of physical instruments or material aeronautics. It must be a spiritual journey to go to above and below layers. The Satya Loka is above all the lokas, which is the abode of Lord Brahma, and next comes the Kailasa, which is the abode of Lord Shiva. There are also the measurements, the calculations of it. Note that this can be applied to everywhere. So we are in a earth, this is Bhuloka, and if we go to some other planets or like Kepler 3b, a planetary system or whatever, the same system can be applied there also. So coming to this version, let me see it here. As the God alone is eternal and infinity, the material space which we observe is considered as finite because it had an origin. So infinity is considered as the superset or universal set, while the all other elements and realities within it is considered as subset as per my knowledge. So this So let this be the finite universe in which the God, the infinity, exists both within the universe and above the universe. Though this is called as Avyaktakasha and this is called as Bhutakasha, as discussed earlier. Note that the 0 and infinity has the same property. Like 0 plus 0 is equal to 0, while infinity plus infinity is equal to infinity. There can be only one infinity mathematically, no plurality of infinity. Hence, when there was nothing, let us denote it by 0. And when the God gave the values to everything for the formation of universe, let it be x, y, z and subset. So everything belongs to the infinity, but yet there is difference between the realities. There are difference between lives, and there are difference between particles, and there are difference between lives and particles. There are difference between matter and God, and there are difference between God and lives. So these are fivefold differences. As x by 0 is equal to infinity, x can take any value. So infinity or God can be known by everything. The God is the fundamental building blocks of everything. Hence, it is the Lord Vishnu who is the eternally independent. With this, I would like to conclude. Thanks to Bharatisha and thanks to everyone. Thanks to everyone. Thank you very much. Have a great life. And thanks to the Lord Vishnu, who is omnipresent and stays in the highest dimension for the functioning of the entire cosmos and lives. Thanks to the Lord, who gave the most sacred knowledge and present in every intervals of time and space which are real. The Vishnu, the Krishna, who gives the salvation of the highest spiritual dimensions. Jai Vishnu. And thank you.